So I'm going to be talking to you guys today a little bit about my Nikon D3400. I've actually moved to an alternate camera, hence I'm using this one, showing you guys this one. This is the first DSLR that I've got. Just going to do a little bit of a review about it because I find YouTube tutorials and reviews really useful, so I thought I'd share some of my experiences with you guys. So the first thing, chose a red one. I think it looks really nice. Quite snazzy. The strap matches it and stands out a little bit more than the black. Comes with a kit lens. It's a really handy lens to have, particularly if you're inside. What was that?
What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
What was that?
I don't know whether I want to touch it.
What made that noise?
Oh my god.
Turn it off.
I can't.
Turn the camera.
No, I think it's the battery.
Yeah, turn the camera off then, peanut.
So I was just doing a little chat. I had my light on. In the light, I'm sure you could hear on the video there was some fizzing noises. I was worried it was my camera. It wasn't. It was actually the Duracell batteries in my light. So yes, not very good. So I'm not sure if I'm going to change it and put my light back on, or whether I should just leave it as it is without a light for now. But the battery is pretty much fizzing all inside my light. I might have to write a letter to Duracell. As you can hear, it's still fizzing. So bought this camera new. It's from Curry's PC World, whatever you want to call it, they're both the same. I think it was about £420 new, so a pretty reasonably affordable DSLR, especially if you're just starting out and you're not sure whether you want to do it as a career or even just for a hobby or just want to try something new. It's got an Speed 4 processor in it, which I found quite fast, especially for what I was doing, quite low level photography, just learning. The only problem I had was from long exposures, but I think that was more to do with the memory card I had rather than the actual camera. It's quite small, it's quite lightweight, it's quite easy to carry around. You don't need quite a big camera bag, especially if you've got quite a few lenses to put on it. You might not have as much space as if you had a bigger DSLR camera. It's got quite a long battery life. I use mine all day and I didn't have to charge it at the end of the day. The only problem I seem to have with regards to battery is if I had it on the smart connectivity setting where it connects to your devices. So I actually linked it to my iPhone, and it would send the pictures that I took straight to my iPhone, which was great because it made processing images quite easy if I wanted to do it then and there. It was also, my iPhone was quite a bit bigger screen than the one that's on here, so I could review the pictures that I was taking a bit more easily. But it did run down the battery life quite a lot from having it on that mode. The connectivity mode was really easy to set up. It's a simple app that Nikon provide, and it's free. You just download it onto your phone, and you can review and edit your photos from that, and obviously upload it to social media or whatever you want to do with it. The actual processes for editing the photos on the camera, you can edit them raw. They were really easy to use, and they made quite a bit of difference to the photographs that I was taking. Again, really great for quick editing if I wanted to post on social media or Instagram or whatever quickly, then that was quite a handy tool to have. So the photos that I was getting were really clear. I was really happy with them. The colours were really good. There's a few different ISO settings that you can have, and a few different white balance settings that you can choose from, which helped with taking my photos. Again, not too many different settings, so again, good for learners or if you're just doing it as a casual hobby, and I definitely recommend them. Obviously we're moving on to why I'm not having this anymore. I've actually gone and bought second-hand the Nikon D7200, which is a bigger camera. It's a bit more professional. The trouble I found, the only reason actually I thought I was going to have this camera for a long time, but I haven't, and the only reason for that is that this camera doesn't actually have a microphone port or a connection for a remote shutter, and those are the two things that I really wanted. So instead I've had to change cameras, but other than that I would be quite happy with just carrying this one forward and having it for quite a while. I do, after having the 7200, which is obviously a lot more expensive, I was really lucky and I bought mine for £550, which I think was a bit of a steal second hand. New, I think, for about £1,000, so you know, you over double the price of this one. This one does feel a lot cheaper and less well made to the 7200, which is obviously understandable because this is a cheaper camera. But yeah, so I'm a bit sad to be getting rid of it, because obviously it's my first DSLR, and you know, I've learned a lot from having it, but obviously I want to move on to something a bit more technical, a bit more professional now, and see how I get on with that. So I'm going to show you, because I'm quite far away in the video, that's because I'm okay. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more, or show you a little bit more about the Nikon camera. Hopefully you can see it. I know I'm a bit far away. I'm actually using a 30mm lens because that's the widest or closest lens that I've got, other than the standard Nikon 18 to 55mm lens, but that's not that good for shooting in low light levels indoors in winter evenings, so that's why I've chosen to go with the other lens. So the camera is very much typical Nikon shape. It's quite basic if you look at the features on the top. Not too many features, but enough to kind of get you learning and keep you occupied whilst you're trying to figure things out and balances of everything. Obviously it's got the flash to the side. Obviously you've got an SD card slot there, which is quite nice, the same colour as the camera body itself. On the bottom you've got a standard, I think it's 1/3 of an inch mount for a tripod or a camera mount, so it's pretty universal. Most tripods connect to it. And then on the side here, so you've got the Bluetooth icon, which represents Bluetooth connection, which we'll talk about the app. That's where it all comes from. And then you've got this slightly different coloured plastic here cover. Not really sure why it's slightly different coloured. It kind of annoyed me, but hey ho, I'll get over it. And inside you've got a so it's a HDMI cable connection and a USB connection there to plug into your computer. So if you wanted to connect to your computer that way, or your TV, then you're more than welcome to do that. The screen is quite nice and big, quite clear. The viewfinder is quite comfy to hold, where I guess it's quite small. The viewfinder's obviously got a bit of a rim around it, which is softer than the rest of the camera, so when you're holding up to your eye, that's quite nice. Again, only 4 buttons down the side, so not too many controls, and they're all pretty basic. So the menu button, zoom in, zoom out, information, and obviously the playback button. What I did find actually is that there's no locking switch for the I guess the auto focus points. So when I was using it for a long time, I wasn't really checking back on my camera my auto focus point, because it only has, I believe it only has 11, so not very many, kept on drifting off to maybe the corner when what I was actually looking at I wanted to take a photo of in the centre of my screen. So the 7200 that I actually have now has a switch which you can lock the focus points, and it does also have 52 focus points, so a lot more than the Nikon 3400, but again I think the price reflects that quite a lot. So that's all I really have to say about the camera. A really good starting camera if you're starting out and you're not sure whether you're going to follow your hobby of photography or videography through. If anyone's got any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them as best as I can. I'm not an expert, I'm still very much learning, if anyone has any tips or wants to share any of their knowledge with me, then I'll really be into that, because you know, I'm really keen to follow this through and do it a bit more and get some different equipment and try some different things. So any help my way would be great. Check out my other videos. I'm just starting out. Got some more equipment coming, so I might do some reviews of that and let you know how things go.